another dog. So we have Miss Leia here. Now Leia is actually the total opposite from Lily, right? She's a very, very timid dog. She's very, what I would call skittish, right? Which basically means she has very high fear, anxiety, as opposed to Lily. She has no fear and anxiety about nothing, right? She wants to go explore and wants to do everything. So how we train Lily is going to be slightly different. I mean, how we train Leia is going to be slightly different than how we train Lily, right? Lily, even though she's a younger dog, she can actually handle more pressure, right? She's an older dog, but because mentally, right, mentally, she has the issues that she has, she can't handle as much physical direct pressure, right? So we're going to be more delicate with how we interact with her. Now, here's the thing. She still has to get corrections, right? A dog has to understand correct and what's not correct, right? They have to have a baseline of that. The question is, how do you implement it, right? So how we're going to implement it with her is with kitty gloves, right? So let me show you what I'm talking about. Leia, hey, Leia, come, yes. Now, if you notice, I don't know if you heard it, right? My correction with the leash is much less harsh than it is with Lily, right? Because if I correct her too long, it makes her flinch, right? So we don't want her, because she already associates everything outside of her comfort zone with something that's coming to hurt her, right? So I'm doing my best not to create an association with the lock of the leash with something bad, right? But she has to learn that noise means I need your attention, right? She has to learn that. But where the discernment comes in is how soft, right? So this right here is still a correction, right? That's a correction too, right? So depending on the dog, a certain dog might need this, but some dogs only need this, right? That's where the discernment comes in. I keep talking about discernment, right? I want you guys to burn that word in your head when it comes to leash corrections or when it comes to physical corrections. You have to practice a high level of discernment based on the dog that you're dealing with. Again, because she is so what we call handler sensitive, right? This kind of correction, that'll be too much for her, right? But it wasn't too much for Lily. So Leia, that's all she needs, right? That's all she needs to get her to be like, oh, I'm sorry, you talking to me? So let me show you, right? Lily, come. Right here, yes, right here. Place. Yes, good girl. Yes, that's a good girl. Yeah, sit. That's a good girl. Yes. So now what we're gonna work on, you want to give me a hand? Yes, okay, good girl. That's a good girl. Yeah. Huh? Now I want you guys to pay attention to something, right? When a dog licks like that, right? That's actually a sign of stress, right? Now a lot of people, specifically in the positive only world, right? They believe that a dog under stress is abuse, and it's false, right? You have to, especially when you're dealing with dogs that already have high levels of anxiety, everything is stress to them, right? So my goal is not to add more stress. My goal is to build her tolerance for the things that stress her out, right? So I'm not trying to avoid her experiencing the stress. I am trying to build her tolerance for the things that cause the stress to her, right? Avoidance does not equal compliance. You get a lot of people that will try to avoid putting the dog in a situation that causes the stress, but that never actually helps the dog get better with dealing with the stress. The only way she's going to get better at dealing with the stress is to build the tolerance for her, right? So when you see the things like the lip smacking, like those are signs of stress. They're similar to us biting our nail. They're similar to us tapping our foot, when we're experiencing anxiety. It's the same thing, right? So I'm just pointing these little things out. For two reasons. For the folks that actually notice it, and then for the folks that don't notice it, so you learn how to read dogs, right? If you learn how to read a dog, you can teach a dog anything you want the dog to know, right? It's just a matter of the specific dog and how much time you want to invest in that particular dog, right? So I just want you guys to pay attention to that, and also pay attention to how and when I reward, right? I don't want to reward when she's experiencing the stress. I want her to experience the stress, and then when she snaps out of it, or when she realizes that, oh, this is really not that bad, that's when the reward comes, right? I want to empower courage. I don't want to empower weakness. And this is the issue, not only in the human world, but in the dog world. We encourage too much weakness, right? It does not make the dog stronger, it makes the dog weaker. Your over empathetic nature as a human makes the dog weaker, right? We call that anthropomorphizing dogs. We cannot continue to put our irrational human emotions on a dog and expect a dog to understand those feelings. They do not have the capability of rationalizing those feelings at the level that we do. A lot of humans don't even have the capability of rationalizing their own emotions, right? So we cannot put that responsibility on the dog. So I'm only making these things clear so when you see when I pet at a certain time, when I praise at a certain time, when I don't praise and when I don't pet, it's a specific reason why. All right, so let's get back to it. All right, Leia, heel. Yes, Leia. Yes, place. All right, come on, place. Sit. Sit. Yes. That's a good girl. Yeah. That's a good girl, Miss Leia. Yes. Sit. All I'm testing right now is to see how far I can get before she gets up. Now, I'm using my instinct, right? I'm reading the dog to see when her tolerance levels. See, I knew it, right? I could tell she was about to get up, right? Come. Place. Sit. Yes. That's a good girl. Yes. Good girl. Right? I could tell by her body language that she was about to get up, so I started to correct, right? Now, what I should have did as I saw her getting up was move towards her faster to stop her, right? That's what we call spatial pressure, right? And even with that, you have to be careful depending on the dog that you're dealing with, right? If you have an aggressive dog, like a truly aggressive dog, spatial pressure will actually make that dog attack you, right? If you have a super timid or skittish dog, that will make the dog shut down if you move in too fast, right? So you have to be aware, right? Discernment, I'm gonna keep using that word, of the kind of dog that you're dealing with. You have to be aware of who you are. Let's be honest, I'm a big black man, right? That makes a difference to her, right? Because I'm much bigger, I'm much more intrusive in my movements. So I have to be aware of that because it's going to have an effect on the dog, right? These are all things that, I'm gonna be honest with you, I've never seen any trainer talk about these little intricacies. You see a lot of videos online talking about how to make a dog sit, how to make a dog stay, which are good, but if you don't understand the psychology of a dog, none of that stuff is really gonna work. It's all mechanical, right? If you notice, I haven't told her to stay once, right? I haven't said stay one time. But because I understand psychology of dogs, right? This is the effect that we're getting. So now, Leia, come, play. Now you see how, and this is where I don't really like the retractable leash, right? So I actually may go get a long lead specifically for her, because if you notice, the retracting sound makes her flinch, right? So that's the thing when it comes to specific dogs where the retractable leash can, work against you, right? So as a matter of fact, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna take the camera, grab her regular leash, and we're gonna put her regular leash on her.
You need to flip it.
Yeah, I'll flip it around. Yep. So yeah, so that's where you have to, that's where you have to know the tools that you're dealing with, right? And how they're going to affect the dog, right? So if you notice when I did that retracting sound and she just jumped again, right? It made her flinch, right? So, what we're gonna do, we're gonna take it down a notch and go to a regular leash, right? A regular 6-foot leash, and we're gonna do the same thing with her. Ain't that right, Miss Leia? Yeah, pretty mama. Yes, pretty mama. I know, pretty girl. I think the people want to see you. I don't know if they want to see me. I think they want to see you, Miss Leia. Okay. Yeah, put that on her real quick. Uh-huh. Yes, sir. Appreciate you. All right, there you go. It's already flipped. In my pocket. All right, Miss Leia. Please. Sit. Hey. Yes, there we go. That's a good girl. Yes, that's a good girl. That's a good girl. Okay. Sit. Hey. Leia, come, please. Sit. Yeah, Miss Leia. Oh, give me the hand. Give me paw. Yes, that's a good girl. Okay. That's a good mommy. Yes. We're going to give her a little break, right? Because she wants some love. See, certain dogs, right? Certain dogs, I'll take the love from in the middle of a rep. Certain dogs I won't, right? She's a dog that needs that love. She needs it, right? She needs it, right? It's literally like it's like heroin to her. She needs that reassurance, right? Because of her genetic disposition, right? She's a very high anxiety, highly fearful dog. So she needs that extra assurance, right? But the key is nothing wrong. People ask me all the time, do I give my dog too much love? And I say, no, you give your dog too much love at the wrong time, right? Timing is everything. Correcting your dog, giving your dog praise and affection, it's all about timing. It's never if you're doing it too much. It's more so what maybe with the corrections. You could be heavy on the corrections. You can also be giving your dog too much love if you're doing it at the wrong time, folks. Timing is everything, right? And this is where learning and knowing your dog so you get the results that you want to get, right? And this is why a lot of people don't get the results that they want because they don't really know their dog. They love their dog, but they don't really know their dog, right? So let's get a few more reps out of Miss Leia here. Yes, come, place. Sit. Right there. Sit. Yes, that's a good girl. That's a good girl. Nope. Sit. Notice how very slow and intentional my movements are. I'm not moving too fast because that'll make her flinch, right? So you have to be very intentional. All right? Have to be very intentional about your movements. Now I'm actually testing her. I want to see how long she's going to sit there before she gets up. And as soon as she starts getting up, I'm going to go correct her, right? Because I didn't give her the cue to get up, to move, right? And this is how you build duration, right? You hold your dog accountable to the thing that you asked it to do until you ask it to do something else. So I'm literally just going to sit here until she begins to move. And then I'm going to correct her, put her back in the sit, and then I'm going to call her out of the sit. She can smell, she can look around, she can do all that stuff as long as she doesn't move. Now it's a waiting game, which is beautiful. You see how long she's sitting here. And again, I didn't tell her to stay, not one time. Probably got about 20 more seconds before she moves. why I like the retractable leash, because it allows me to give the dog more freedom to make a mistake. But again, with a dog like her, that retractable leash, right? When you're retracting the leash back in, that clicking sound, right? It's a distraction for her, right? It actually makes her anxious. See, I knew it. Ah, sit. Ah, sit. Yes. So now I'm gonna make her hold it for 5 seconds, and then I'm gonna call her out. 3, 2, 1. Leia, come. Yes, good girl. Come on, come on, come on. Yes, good girl. Place. Right there. Yeah, mama. Sit. Yes. Good girl. That's a good girl. That's a good girl, Miss Leia. All right, so we're gonna end it here with Miss Leia, right? As you see, guys, you don't have to train a dog for 2 hours at a time, right? We probably do on average 2 to 3 sessions a day, 15 to 20 minutes at a time, depending on the dog, depending on what we're working on. And I promise you, if you practice that, that's a total of 45 minutes a day, right? 2 to 3, 15-minute intervals, right? Even if you do it at 20 minutes, right? That's an hour a day in intervals of 20 minutes, right? If you got a dog and you don't have an hour a day, right? 20-minute intervals to train your dog, I'm just gonna be honest. I'm just gonna be honest. Especially after you have the information. Now I understand that, you may not know what to do, how to do it, when to do it, why to do it. I understand that, right? This is why people like me are here, to teach you. But once you get the information and you don't maintain it, it's not a dog problem, it's a you problem. Matter of fact, I think that's gonna be my new slogan. It's not a dog problem, it's a you problem, right? So, as always, folks, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out, 815-351-6636. The best way is to text me, because if you call me, I'm probably training the dog, and I'm probably gonna miss your call, especially if I don't know the number. I know pretty good. So the best way is send me a text saying, hey, my name is such and such. I have a dog. I'm having this issue. Can we please talk so you can help me with my issue? And I will return your call. You can also leave a message, in the comments. You can also send me an email, thestructuredk9academy@gmail.com. What did I just say? If your dog is misbehaving, it's not a dog problem.
It's a you problem.
A structured K9 is a happy K9. And until the next video, folks, peace and prosperity. Yes, come on, Miss Leia. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Place. Sit. Yes, right there. No, come on, right here. Finish out the good set for the people.